I noticed something kind of interesting that's been happening lately on social media. For a while, you had all these kind of pseudo experts that were getting online, acting like health experts, saying like complete and utter nonsense. And now you have a whole bunch of doctors that have hit social media debunking the nonsense. And that is awesome. And hopefully, I've been one of those doctors. But we've developed like this very polar opposites. There's people that kind of ascribe to like natural health, I will call it, and others that are like, oh no, medicines are the way. And lifestyle changes have been kind of ignored by a lot of the doctors, or just given lip service. And there's got to be some kind of medium in between. And so, like, the GLP-1 agonists come out and they work super, super well, like Ozempic and Zepbound, and people are losing weight. And then you see that there are people that started making supplements for GLP-1, and now you have doctors saying, oh my God, that is absolute snake oil. Don't use those at all. And I see their point, but I've been studying GLP-1 for a while, even before the meds became a big deal. And I was interested because if you do a gastric bypass, which I've done many of, you'll notice an almost immediate response in diabetics. They almost get cured overnight. It's really, it's kind of a miracle in type 2 diabetics. And what we have found is that when we reroute the intestine, we deliver food directly to the small intestine, GLP-1 is secreted. So we do get a GLP-1 effect. And I think that GLP-1 effect does play to the fact that some of our gastric bypass patients report they're just not as hungry, and they get almost immediate improvement in the management of their blood sugars. And that got me interested into looking into a phenomenon we've known for a while called the ileal brake. And the ileal brake is that when you get food down to the distal intestine, what happens is the distal intestine, the cells there, can secrete GLP-1, the actual hormone that is in the shots that people are taking. We've also found that high fiber foods can stimulate a change in the microbiome to bacteria that secretes a chemical called propionate that then stimulates those same cells to secrete GLP-1. The point being that there are natural ways of stimulating GLP-1. And in fact, there have been studies that if you put a tube down someone's nose and you drip different macronutrients into their small intestine, down distally, they get a GLP-1 response. There have also been studies, they did a great study looking at, it was a randomized crossover trial with placebo, and they gave people either a plant-based food or a meat-based food, and they showed that the plant-based food did increase GLP-1, and that increase in GLP-1 was associated with more satiety. And so for a while, even before these whole debates were raging, I wanted to see if I could create a supplement that would help stimulate GLP-1. My idea is not in any way, shape, or form to replace the medications. If you need Ozempic or Wegovy or Zepbound and you have clearance to use those, you can use those. You could still take my supplement while you're on those medications if you wanted. My idea was, because at Methodist we had used a meal replacement shake for quite some time. And there have been some studies showing that meal replacement shakes do help, that if you were going to eat a 500 calorie meal, but instead had a much lower calorie meal replacement shake that was able to give you nutrients, that you were able to lose weight. And so I wanted to create a meal replacement, but what I've noticed in most of the meal replacements is there's not a lot of fiber in them, and they're very high in protein. And so I wanted some protein in there because we do know that amino acids stimulate the GLP-1 effect, and protein is needed in your meals, but I also wanted a good amount of fiber, and the right fiber to help grow the microbiome that would help grow a microbiome that produces propionate, which stimulates GLP-1. And so I worked with this farm in Costa Rica that does natural products, and I really wanted this to just be like absolutely as much, the company's called From Seed to Shelf, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted no additional substances. I wanted everything to be completely natural. I didn't even put sweeteners in this. I did use something called allulose, because allulose is a non-nutritive sweetener that that actually does in and of itself stimulate GLP-1. We have tested the supplement on people that have tolerated it well, felt that it did make them full. I am trying to set up an actual prospective randomized controlled trial on the supplement. But this gets back to my question, because I see people saying you could only use pharma. Well, I mean, first of all, the medications are expensive. Not everybody qualifies for them. Not everybody responds to them. There are varying degrees of response. Some people are concerned about being a medication that so stimulates GLP-1 for so long and worry about the side effects of that. And then there's some people that, want to lose a little bit of weight, or simply some people that just don't have time for lunch and they want a meal replacement shake. And so I felt that the supplement could fit into that genre and provide a very healthy, natural supplement. And I don't think it's snake oil. Every single ingredient in the product, which is called satiety now, has its independent testing showing that it does secrete GLP-1 or help promote GLP-1 and help with satiety. And all the ingredients are obviously very safe and natural. So I think there is an even ground. I definitely am not going to be one of these people. I'm going to be the worst salesperson. I'm not going to come out and say, this will make you lose weight and you will never have to do anything, and use this instead of using the medications, and medications are bad and this is all natural and organic and therefore it's good. Now I'm going to be pretty realistic about it. It's got some evidence that it will work, but I would never tell you it would work as well as the medications. And if you need the medications, you should be taking the medications. This is just one other tool in the arsenal to help with weight loss.